What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Pat and Dan Show. As usual, I'm your host, Patrick Hennessy, joined by Dan Rourke. How we doing tonight, Dan?
Surprisingly well, man. Oh, my voice just cracked. Horrible start. Surprisingly well. And let me just tell you why my voice cracked, bro. I lost my voice in the third inning or the second inning of yesterday's game against Stroman when we took the lead.
Really?
That's how bad this season has went, bro. Like one really good inning from the offense or solid inning has me freaking out. So
Yeah,
that was about. I'm doing all right.
I'm doing pretty solid too. Like we were talking about this before. I know I didn't even know what day of the week it was. It's Monday. Hope everyone's having a great Monday. Hope everyone had a great 4th of July. But when we last came on Thursday, we were a little bit depressed. It was like a depressing live stream for sure. Episode 4 was the definition of depression. But now we're coming on here and I'm like, Dan, I kind of feel pretty decent. Now, I don't feel decent as far as like the Yankees season goes because I still don't feel good as far as that. But I think we're kind of in that stage right now where we're just accepting the fact that the Yankees probably won't make the playoffs this year. And we're just accepting that fact.
Yeah. And there's still if the Yankees are going to be bad, we get to think about what trades we can make. Should we buy or sell, So it's not like the rest of the season is going to be boring, right? There's still plenty of stuff to talk about, right? Or is Aaron Boone going to get fired? And he gave us more reason to want him fired the other day. We'll get into all of that. So, yeah, bro, I think we're definitely feeling better than we were last episode. Because me and Pat talked about it after the show. We had to admit, our vibes were a little bit down, but I think we're chilling right now, bro. We're chilling.
Yeah. And, bro, those are just the highs and lows of the season. But we, like you said, we have so much to talk about today. But, Dan, I'm going to be honest, before we talk on, anything Yankees here, outside of Yankees stuff, 4th of July was pretty solid. Usually it's, 95 degrees out. This was, the coolest 4th of July of all time, bro.
Bro, you know something I didn't know? Apparently, the 5th of July is, legitimately a holiday. Not just treated like a holiday. It actually is.
No.
It's actually a national holiday. Like banks and stuff are closed. I usually go to the library during the week. That was closed today. So bro, and I live in a short town at Seaside Park. It's popping here. So it's technically still a holiday. So
yeah, nice I know everyone had off work
today. People spending the holidays with us, bro. Ain't that nice?
It's so friendly. It's so friendly. But listen, now that we kind of broke the ice a little bit talking about some good stuff, we have to address the elephant in the room.
Wait, before we get into the bad stuff, right? Can I have one little last bit of optimistic thing, right?
Go for it. Yeah.
So Fangraphs projects, and I'm not even saying this is accurate, but Fangraphs projects the second AL wild card to win right around 89 games, okay? The Yankees, in order to get to 89 games, would have to go 47-32, which is 15 games over 500. They play to their potential. That is more than possible. So there's your little, piece of optimism. I'm not saying 89 games is going to get it done, but that's what Fangraphs said. And they still give them a 40, maybe a little less than 40% chance to make the playoffs. So let's preface the bad stuff we're about to talk about, that it's still not impossible for the Yankees to make the playoffs. Sure. It's still very much possible, just not likely. And there's a lot of things that contributed to that, and that's what we'll get into.
Yeah, but listen, Dan, that was a great piece of optimism.
I feel like a host right there, bro. If I just went off on it.
But before we get into the bad stuff here, that was a great little piece of optimism. But bro, the bad stuff is really bad, really bad. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. Game 1 was so bad yesterday. I didn't watch Game 2. I don't know if you did, but I did not watch Game 2.
I watched it with the most casual way I've ever watched a game this year. I was going to go to the this one barbecue, my boy's barbecue, regardless. But they did have the TV set up for me, which was very nice. And it's annoying too, bro. Winning that second game, it's just so frustrating because it's all right, awesome, we won the second game. It's just you realize how close you were to winning the series, bro. And it all comes down on, I don't know if this is what we're getting into right now. I didn't know what topic you're going to go with, but listen,
I'm getting into it.
I am on the Fire Boone train, right? But I don't want to go overboard with it like a lot of people do, where the Yankees could get blown out 10-0, the offense doesn't perform, and they're fire Boone, which that doesn't really have much to do with Aaron Boone, right? But game 1 of the doubleheader yesterday, bro, that is the most ammo a fan can need to say fire Boone, because that's pure managerial decision. I figure that's what you're going to get into. So.
Yeah, let's get into that right now. The Yankees were leading, I believe, 4-1 at one point in game 1. It was Cole versus Stroman. Yankees kind of had Stroman on the ropes multiple times. They got pretty lucky as far as just getting runs on base and whatnot, and kind of capitalized that way. But then Cole kind of just started fumbling around. I think it was the 4th or 5th, and then after that, the bullpen kind of performed pretty decent, right? And then Aroldis Chapman comes in for the 9th inning. Well, when I saw Aroldis Chapman warming up in the bullpen, I almost knew that the game was over at that point. Just because, bro, you're talking about a guy who had a 17 ERA in his last 8 starts, coming off a brutal, probably one of the worst blown regular season saves in his career against the Angels. And the fact that he's warming up in a 1-run game to come in to close the game against the Mets, that was sickening in itself. And then once you see him walk in And you could just tell Chapman doesn't really have that confidence about him. But I believe he had 2 strikes to Alonso. He was looking pretty decent.
Yeah.
Bang, home run. And let's also take note here. Great piece of hitting by Pete Alonso. As much as we hate him, it was a solid piece of hitting by him.
I got nothing against Alonso, like the player. Dude, I can't, the screaming around first base just makes me absolutely cringe. I really don't like Pete Alonso the way he acts. Like, he just has one. And I was talking to my Mets friends about this yesterday at the barbecue, and they were like, dude, honestly, like, I don't blame you. Like, they're like, obviously, I like him as like being a Mets fan, but if I weren't a Mets fan, I wouldn't like him. Like, he just is 100%. So like, he's just like a freaking fat lard, bro. I just hate him, bro. I really, really do.
No, he's built like a bag of milk.
But listen, yeah, the first 2 pitches that Chapman threw yesterday, I was actually all of a sudden feeling like, okay, maybe he's turned it back around, you know. But listen, it was such a dumb decision bringing in Chapman. How could you bring him in?
How?
Like, listen, I don't understand what Boone's logic was, right? Because no matter what, Chapman was going to pitch in both games, most likely yesterday, unless they had to have him pitch, right? So if Boone was smart, just to kind of, from an optics standpoint, to make him look not as bad, if Kareem was going to save a game yesterday, have him go the first game. Okay, then you have the excuse, come game 2, who else are we going to use if we're not going to use Green, which we can't? Put in Chapman then, right? And then Boone also brings up how, oh, I only had Green pitch that one pitch. What did he throw, like 1 or 2 pitches?
He threw 2 pitches.
2 pitches, right. And then Boone later on was like, I wanted to save him for the second game. So many pitchers have been on the record. I think Cole may have even said this yesterday. Once you not only get loose, but you put it to a game, like, unless you end up throwing like 30, 40, 50 pitches, like, it's your workload's almost equivalent by just going into the game. So Green was already in the game. With the way he looked yesterday, why not just let him throw another 10 pitches and finish that game? And if you can't use him in game 2, okay, we'll forgive you then. Put in Chapman, right?
Yeah.
It was just that Boone had to have known that not was going to go well. Like, say we were up by 3 runs, then maybe you could like maybe find it in yourself to somewhat forgive him, right? But a 1-run game where all it takes is one runner get on, a wild pitch, runner advances second, another wild pitch, sac fly, boom, game's tied.
We talked about this. We talked about this after Chapman had that blown save against the Angels. You're like, you know what? Next time we see Chapman, it's definitely not going to be in a 1-run game, right? Obviously, you're going to kind of bring him up in a little lower leverage situation. That way, he can maybe build up confidence that way. But I don't understand what Aaron Boone could possibly be thinking. And I think this goes back to the topic that we discuss all the time, right? It's the fact that the Yankees just have some players that they're obsessed with, and they kind of just turn a blind eye to their struggles. And that's what bothers me the most. And I hate to bring up his name as usual. Brett Gardner is one of those guys. And clearly, Aroldis Chapman is one of those guys as well. So I think those are 2 guys on the roster that we could kind of look at right now and say the Yankees kind of just turn a blind eye to their struggles just because they have so much faith in him. I guess they have so much confidence in them. But what happened yesterday with Boone bringing in Chapman into that game, it's unacceptable. And then also kind of bringing this on a lighter note here, how funny is it that they named him an all-star after that?
I know, bro. And same with Cole, too.
Yeah.
Right? And listen, I think because you do bring up the whole like loyalty thing a lot, right? And I don't think it has anything to do with like certain players. I just think in general, like the Yankees like loyalty leash is just way too long, right? Like and I understand what some people are saying in the chat, right? Where like Chapman's your closer, like he's gonna be your guy. And yes, I understand that. Like the Angels game, I was totally for putting in Chapman. Like I wasn't gonna blame Boone for putting him in. Like get him work, get him right.
With a 4-run lead,
that's the time to do it, right? But now, like especially after that Angels game, like it's official. Chapman is lost. Putting him in a 1-run game when we're not 10 to 15 games over 500. We're not in first. We're not even in a position where we're in the playoffs if the season ended today. We're fighting for the playoff spot. Boone yourself said season's on the line. And you're putting in Aroldis Chapman with, what'd you say, like a 17 ERA over. And screw ERA, bro. It's not even just that. Like Chapman, when Chapman is bad, bro, he's really, really bad. Like it's not just like hard hit. And like I wasn't even nervous about him really giving up a homer yesterday. It was more so what he did after the Alonso homer, which is walking the freaking bases loaded or whatever happened, you know?
Yeah.
And hey,
I think he walked the next 2 guys.
I gave Licky a pass after the Angels game because it's a tough spot, but now that's 2 games in a row where he's kind of crapped the bed, right? So kind of got to.
I'm gonna be honest though, but listen, bro, like I saw a lot of people on social media kind of coming after
one of those guys that needs a clean inning. Maybe that's what we're finding out.
No, but it's not even. It's not the fact that like he needs a clean inning. It's the sense of like, yes, Lucas Licky has been solid for the Yankees so far this season, but you're just putting him in such weird positions and expecting him to just turn into like 2017 wildcard game Chad Green and just mow everyone down and kind of just bring them out of these terrible situations that Chapman puts them in. And it's so frustrating at this point because, like you said, Green only threw 2 pitches. He easily could have pitched the 9th, the 7th, whatever you want to call that. But also, you had Darren O'Day in the bullpen. Like, why do the
Real.
Yankees not trust Darren O'Day? I don't understand, like, the logic that Boone could be coming from. And I tried thinking about this all night last night, bro. Like, what in Boone's head could have possibly told you? And the only argument that I kind of thought of, which I heard from other people, well, Chapman's your closer. Like, you have to go with him in that situation. That's the most ridiculous argument that I could ever hear, simply because I get Chapman's your closer. Sure, Chapman's been your guy for the past, 4 years at this point. But when he's struggling this bad, you don't look at him as your closer anymore. You look at him as just any other relief pitcher in the bullpen. And I think we talked about this before the season started. I'm so open to the Yankees having like a fluid rotation in the bullpen as far as the closer role goes. If one day you want to use Green as closer, sure. Loaiza is closer, sure. Britton is closer when he comes back, sure. O'Day is closer. I don't care. Just Chapman cannot be the closer right now.
I would say I'm totally cool with the rotation until Chapman is right. And that's what they did in 2017. They didn't name a guy. It went from we had D-Rob at the time, Green, we get Betances as well. So, I mean, like, that's what they should just do in the meantime. And, like, the easiest way to do it is the phantom IL, right? But with the current state of our bullpen, which people are talking up our bullpen, like, almost a little bit too much, you know, where, like, they're talking about our pen as if it was still performing the same way it did the first, like, month of the season. It was really good out of the gate, and it's still pretty reliable, right? But, like, I don't know if we're in a position to put Chapman on the IL, right? Because, I mean, like, Chapman, you know, it comes down to confidence, right? So one good game, like, say he has a good game yesterday. Let's just say, you know, if this ever would have happened, he struck out the side yesterday, right? Then all of a sudden, you could argue Chapman's fixed, right? So the phantom IL, I'm not sure if that's the way to go, but you cannot, like, one-run game tomorrow in Seattle. Are you putting him in the ninth inning? You can't. And Boone did say, he finally said that the closer role will be evaluated. But, like, bro, like, what took so long? You know, and
but bro, you could make the same argument as far as, like, we talk about this all the time, the Yankees' lack of urgency. It took them the first game of the Angels series after getting swept by the Red Sox twice in order for them to say the season's on the line. So I'm not surprised that they're just evaluating the closer role now.
And speaking of that, bro, it could be because, like, if they want to give him this long leash, it could be because maybe they want to trade him. You know, if Chapman all of a sudden can't close a game, there goes his value, right? So it might have something to do with that too.
He's an all-star, though. Don't forget that.
I know, with his
bro, that blows my mind.
Right?
How?
Well, listen, I mean, I actually don't think. I think it's more so just ironic and funny at the timing. You know, it doesn't totally not make sense because, like, up until like a week ago, like, you know, he was struggling for like about a week, and then like the Angels game, and then the game yesterday obviously messed his season sets up big time, but like. He had a really good season up until late, and it's not like all of a sudden like, okay, Chapman had a really bad game against the Mets, let's take him out. You know, they probably decided on like a week ago.
Yeah, but I don't. It's just. I guess the timing's a little bit ironic. But
right
now, if you're looking at Chapman's numbers, though, like he doesn't really deserve to be an all-star.
Some were saying the same about Cole too, which like I could go on about Cole. I'm actually very nervous about him. But
Cole's sample size a little bit small.
No, it's small, but I'm saying like in terms of like the all-star though, like Cole's numbers, like they're still really good overall. Like he has a 2.9 ERA, like his K/9's over 10. Like he's still having a good season overall. But yeah, there's reason to be worried. I'm not sure if you're going to get into that, but
yeah, no, I actually want to touch on that right now since we're kind of talking about yesterday's game. I kind of came on here, and it was a little bit of a weird situation, right? Simply because I don't want to bash Gerrit Cole. I never want to bash Gerrit Cole. But I think if there was any kind of two starts where you can bash him, it's these last two. Because these are the two when we needed Gerrit Cole the most. You need your ace on the mound giving you a solid start, and he just completely didn't show up either time. Obviously, you guys know what happened against Boston last week. He gave up, 5 runs in however many innings, got pounded by them in a game that the Yankees desperately needed to avoid a sweep. And then we know what happened yesterday. He was kind of looking pretty solid over the first few innings, and then he just completely crapped the bed. And Cole gets paid a lot of money. And I hate to always bring up money, but it's not even the money side of things anymore. It's the fact that he has the position of your ace. And when you have your ace on the mound against the New York Mets, and you have a 3-run lead, whatever it was, you expect him to go out there and shove. And it's not even that, as if it's also the spider tack thing. I think if the whole spider tack thing never happened, a lot of people wouldn't be as on him. But now it's the sense of, yes, we did see like a few good starts from him after the spider tack, but the fact that he's not consistent and he's going back to like the inconsistency of like the Pirate Cole days, I think that's the biggest concern here, the inconsistency.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that's like the only concern, right? Because like you bring up how people are more mad about Cole with the spider tack. Well, they probably don't have reason to be mad at him if he still is using it, right? And like with the he had a 2-3 good start. He had the start against Minnesota that was good. He had that really good start against Toronto. Yeah. But still, like they weren't like lights out April, May Gerrit Cole starts. He didn't rack up a lot of Ks. He didn't necessarily look the Toronto start. He looked, I guess you could say, dominant, right? But it wasn't like vintage Gerrit Cole that we've seen in his prime with Houston and at the beginning of his Yankee career, right? I'm not worried like long term that Cole isn't going to be able to justify this contract. I think he will be able to figure it out. There's obviously going to be an adjustment period, and that's exactly what this is going to be, right? So let me say this. If we have any hopes of making a run at the playoffs, if Cole doesn't like expedite that adjustment period, like that, we're done. Like, because we cannot be like, and you could argue Cole's already, I don't want to put this on him, but he's already in a way ended the season, right? You could argue he ended the division hopes with that game against Boston last week. And then yesterday, bro, like we're in a much better spot if we take two of three. Now, of course, yesterday's game, the game one doesn't exactly fall on him, but he didn't even make it out of that fourth inning, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that's not Gerrit Cole. And you can't put the name Gerrit Cole aside, bro. Any starting pitcher, like Jameson Tyone gives us that outing, we're disappointed, right?
Oh,
so like
1,000%.
Yeah. So I mean, like, I don't want to say I'm worried long term, but I'll tell you this, bro. Because I'm gonna give him into like next year, like say it's like around this time next year and he's still looking bad. All of a sudden, like, I don't know too much about this topic, but I'd want the Yankees to like, I don't know, like I'd want them to kind of like what when a player like tests positive for steroids, right? And all of a sudden you can what's the word, like the breach of contract or something like that. Like it's Cole technically misrepresented himself, bro.
I think the Yankees knew. They had to have known.
No, I understand, but it's just like that's like I'll tell you this. I'll be pissed at Gerrit Cole, very angry, and he will.
You gonna go ask for a refund?
That's basically what I'm saying. And I'm looking for the more.
You want to bring your receipt to customer service? Be like, look, this is not what I paid for. It's kind of like dysfunctional.
It's essentially what I'm saying, though. Okay. Honestly, bro, like give me a freaking refund of Gerrit Cole. And I know that's like unrealistic. That's not actually going to happen. But listen, Gerrit Cole, if he's not able to figure this out without the spider tech, which once again I think he will be able to, he'll probably be in my top 5 most hated Yankees.
And that's so crazy, bro.
Because we're on the hook for another 7 years, $250 million.
I know.
And this is all way in the future, bro. I really do think Cole is too good of a pitcher with too much talent, and 2, he's very smart. Cole is like as smart as it comes when it comes to just like the education.
I still love Gerrit Cole.
We'll be able to figure it out. It's just a matter of it could be as soon as like just taking the All-Star break, right? I don't even want him to go to the All-Star game, bro. Just take 3-4 days and just figure it out. Study some film or something.
I'm going to be honest. I know you're going to be like, well, I think Aaron Judge should go. But, like, bro, if we're being honest, I don't think any Yankee deserves to be in the All-Star game right now. Simply because, obviously, you look at individual performance. Like, there's some guys that are very much deserving of doing so. But I'm looking at this team right now. I don't want to see anyone being happy at the All-Star game, just, like, dancing around their little All-Star jerseys. That's just
being a classic Yankee fan, bro.
Sure.
That's all it is.
That is just being me. Because, bro, I'm going to look at Chapman and go have some fun in Denver, like just chilling with his All-Star jersey on, like he's done something to be there. And then he's going to come back to the Yankees the next week and just be an absolute bum again.
Okay, no, Chapman and Cole, I understand. But Judge, like, not even being Dan being...
No, obviously, Judge. No, obviously, Judge.
No, I know you're saying he deserves, but I'm saying, like, don't you think he deserves to chalk it up with his boys, chilling?
No, I guess. But at the same time, it's like, bro, like, I know he can't single-handedly change the Yankees, but it's like, I know, like, Judge had the players meeting too and everything. Let's talk about that for a second, because Judge held a players meeting to kind of put things in shape. I think, 1, that goes to show kind of the lack of trust in the coaching staff. And 2, I think that maybe it kind of goes to show that the comments we heard from not George Steinbrenner, Hal Steinbrenner, maybe got to the players a little bit. And they're kind of like, well, Hal thinks the blame is on us, which it kind of is. But then again, clearly the players-only meeting did nothing because the Yankees' performance has only regressed since then as well. So it seems like no matter who we hear from, no matter what press conference happens, no matter what meetings happen, this team's just not improving. And it's just, I think the funniest part about this whole thing is we're hearing all this garbage, right? But you know what we haven't seen? Change.
Well,
we've seen no change.
I'm going to surprise you here, maybe. I don't know. I disagree with you on that because reportedly, the players' meeting happened after the first Angels game. So what was that, Monday, I believe, at the stadium?
Yeah.
So why I would say that maybe the players' meeting possibly worked. And first, let me say that players' meetings, like, they're, like, kind of overhyped in a way. Like, apparently they happen quite often, and you usually only hear about them when the team starts doing well after. Like, oh, we had a players' meeting, and then the team got hot, right? Well, put it in perspective this way. So after Monday, Judge had his players-only meeting, right? The next 2 games, the Yankees scored a combined 19 runs and should have went on to win both of those games, right? But Chapman crapped the bed in game 2. If he doesn't do that, we win 2 out of those 3 games. The next game gets rained out, of course. And then against the Mets, should have taken 2 out of 3 if it weren't for 1, a dumb decision by Aaron Boone, and 2, Chapman crapping the bed, right? So, I mean, like, I'm not saying that, like Judge or whoever fixed this team, right? But, like, it's not that the players' meeting didn't work. And this is why if somebody wants to still be optimistic about the Yankees, right, that they'll turn it around. it would be that they are looking better. It's a lot of it's come down to the failures of Aroldis Chapman. Like they really are in a way looking better. And listen, I still am a believer that the Yankees are going to turn it around. Like, don't mistake me on what I'm saying. I'm just saying that we're losing time. Like, we may not have enough time to where when we do turn it around, which once again I do believe this team will, we've run out of time is what I'm saying. But like I still think that players meeting it may have worked because the performance on the field has looked a little bit better.
Listen, I understand where you're coming from when you say that, but at the same time, it's like what I'm trying to say is you could have all these meetings in the world that you want, but personally, I'm looking at this roster and I truly just don't think that they're good enough, no matter what meetings you have, to turn it around and make the postseason. I'm looking at this Yankees lineup and they're not good enough to make the playoffs. I truly believe that. Listen, you're probably going to disagree, but I think that there's monumental changes that need to be made, and you kind of look at this organization as a whole. The bullpen, it needs work, especially with Aroldis Chapman being as shaky as he is. You look at that starting rotation, bro, garbage, especially if Cole isn't going to perform at like his ace level. So that's a concern as well. And then you also look at the lineup. You have multiple holes in the lineup as well. You go out and you acquire Tim LeCastro. Dan, I'm sorry, we talked about this on Thursday, but he's not that guy. Like, that meme, like, you're not that guy, pal. I'm looking at Tim LeCastro, I'm saying that, and I'm watching, like, Yes Network when he's making his debut, and they're hyping him up as the second coming of Mike Trout. A little bit sickening. And then the sense of, remember when you told me you're like, Pat, on the bright side, he's probably going to take some playing time away from Brett Gardner. Brett Gardner started in center field both games yesterday.
Yeah, well, I don't think we need to be blaming Tim LeCastro. I know that's what you're doing.
No. It's the presence
I don't
of Tim
think
LeCastro.
they're making him, like I think you're kind of overstating.
He was hyped up. Chat, tell me yes or no, Tim LeCastro was hyped up.
I'll tell you why he was hyped up. They hype up any player that grew up a Yankee fan. Same deal happened with Adam Ottavino. That always happens, right? And Tim LeCastro, by the way, he's a great dude. He's a very nice guy.
He seems like an awesome dude, but he's not the guy who's going to fix the Yankees.
Listen, I mean, after the way he played yesterday, I don't think now's the time to trash Tim LeCastro, right? I mean, listen, regardless.
Why are you taking it like that, though? It's not trashing Tim LeCastro. It's trashing the presence of Tim LeCastro.
The
move is still stupid.
It's not stupid. It's stupid if they think that's the answer. It's stupid. I think that's the answer.
Why do you need a right-handed Tyler Wade? Because Tyler Wade's gone now.
No, they wanted to get themselves a legitimate center fielder. That is crazy, right? Tyler Wade's probably pissed. He got sent down to AAA.
No, it's ridiculous. You acquire a right-handed Tyler Wade whose offense is probably pretty similar.
But I think it's just like, are you looking at Tim LeCastro as if he's the move? Because he's not.
No, I'm looking at Tim LeCastro as in the sense of now that's just another guy blocking Ambergy and Park for no reason. Because LeCastro's not getting sent down, and you know that you're not going to get top-tier production from him. And obviously the argument could be made you're not going to get top-tier production from Ambergy or Park, but there's a much better chance of them doing so than LeCastro is.
All valid points. I'll tell you this. Unless the Yankees go full throttle, like buying, and like they go all in, like over luxury tax type deal, Trey Ambergy, he will be up this year. I'd put money on that. I know you may not believe it.
You'll put money on that?
I would.
Who's he replacing?
No, I'm saying he'll come up probably in August. I mean, no matter what, he's coming up in September when the roster expand, +3 to like 28 or 29. He'll come up at some point. I mean, he may not get like too crazy of playing time, but he'll be up at some point. I almost guarantee it. Unless the Yankees, like, if they go out and get like an outfielder and like they're really, and LeCastro starts playing well, maybe not. But I would count on him. He'll be up at some point, bro. Park is the guy I don't think will be up.
Well, apparently he has like,
dude, and this is a tough conversation to have because we got to know, like, we don't know what the Yankees are going to do until we know what they're doing at the deadline, right?
They're not doing anything, Dan.
Well, no, I'm saying buy or sell.
If they do anything, they have to sell. I guess we can talk about that right now. Buy or sell.
I feel like, I mean, it's like we talk about it a lot, but it depends on you might sell. I mean, like I'm down to retool, right? I mean, some people have brought up trading
2016.
Luke. And some people brought up trading Luke Voit. That way you can move DJ to first for next year, Glaber to second, then get yourself a shortstop. I'm on board with that. I have been for a long time. Try to hopefully trade Chapman and Britton, which I'm getting mixed reports. What do they have? Do they have a full no trade, or they have like some people tell me they only have like the West Coast teams no trade? Do they have a full no trade? I don't know. That plays a big part, but do whatever you can to try and get them moved. I don't even care what you get back, to be honest, for Chapman and Britton. Just get the salary off the books. Maybe trade Voit, and there you go. And just still keep a solid core. Like obviously Judge wouldn't and shouldn't go anywhere. Have him next year and then sign him long term. Gio, I would keep.
I'm open to it though.
I would keep Gio. And listen, if you can get something respectable for Glaber, I'd even do that. Now, I wouldn't want to trade both Glaber and Voit, but I'd be certainly willing to trade one of the two. Probably more so Voit, because Voigt's value hasn't really dropped. He hasn't played enough he hasn't been bad long enough in like a long sample size to
just as who he is, though. I don't think he has much value anyway. I think his highest value would have been after last season.
I think Voit could have a little bit of value. I don't think it's fallen off too much, enough to where you could like not mind the
decent package.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm just trying to go around the diamond now. I mean, the outfield, who do we have? I mean, Andujar, he could be a trade piece, right? So, I don't know.
Listen.
I mean, I think there's pieces to be moved. There really is, but not to the point where, and I tweeted this the other day, like, sell off everything you plan to do away with in the offseason, right? So if you plan to get rid of an infielder, do it now at the deadline because that's when you're likely to get more of a package for.
Sure.
And try to trade away Chapman and Bregman, like I've said a million times, and go into the future building around Aaron Judge. Put the pieces around him and Gio Urshela, the guys that you could think are going to be here for the next 4 or 5 years. Hopefully Gio's around for the next 4 or 5 years. And you can be a World Series contender next year. I swear to God, you really can.
No, I agree.
Turn the ship around quick, and that's what I'm trying to say here is I don't want to blow it up. I really, really don't. You don't have to blow it up. Like I don't want us to miss the fact that there's still a lot of talent individually on this team, and I mean that.
Fair. And listen, I want to bring up this donation. Shout out to Jesus Travels with the $2 donor. Appreciate you, Jesus. He says trade Judge, Chapman, and Frazier.
It's a random combo.
Yeah, Judge, Chapman, Frazier. Listen, Judge is not being traded. Anybody who wants Judge traded, I'm just saying he's not going to be traded.
The only way I'd agree with trading Judge is like the one part I did agree with you on the whole Judge thing we had the other day is if for some reason the Yankees knew they weren't re-signing Judge. Like say they just got freaking brain dead. I don't know. They knew they weren't re-signing him.
It's not even that, bro.
Then trade him.
It's also if you get a spectacular package, you have to.
No, but what is the spectacular package though?
You want me to like come up with a hypothetical scenario?
Because I don't. What the Red Sox got back for Betts? Hell no.
No, it would have to be better than that.
Let me say this though, real quick.
But also, that was a really good package that kind of turned the Red Sox into such a good team. Now
it was a good package. I mean, yeah, Verdugo's a nice player, right? And also the fact they took on Price's contract. But let me tell you all this: a lot of people like they bring up the Betts deal as like a comparison of why the Yankees maybe trade Judge. Do not forget the Red Sox offered Betts over $300 million. He didn't take it. If he signed it, they're not trading him.
But that's what I'm saying could happen with Judge.
No, if the Yankees were to offer, because think about this.
I'm not saying the numbers are going to be
No, I know, but I'm saying let's put it like this in this way, in a relative aspect. $300 million, that was a respectable offer to Mookie Betts, right? A more than respectable offer, okay? For Judge, if he gets something in like equation to that of like, I don't know, let's just say the number's 210, right? If the Yankees offer him 7 years, 210 extension, Judge is re-signed. Now, if he doesn't take that and he's like being real tight about it, then sure, trade him off. But I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, either way, I think we're kind of on the same boat here. No, I don't think we are on the same boat. But like, I'm not extending anybody. So in that case, since I'm not extending anybody, I'm open to trading.
And that was one of the, and I don't know if we addressed this on here. That was one of the big miscommunications of like our little debacle, the Judge conversation was that I didn't fully understand what you were saying, that you're just not about extending players really in general.
Yeah, so, and I think that's fair. No,
100%. In most cases, it is. I think it's just like it's only fine for a player you're sure and positive about that you want to have long term. Same with like
it's Fernando not even Tatis. That, bro. It's not even that. It's the sense of I look at every single player across the league. I don't think that there's one guy that I would sign to like a 10-year extension.
See, when you said you weren't about extending Tatis, that surprised me.
No, I'm 100% serious because like I look at this and especially when I don't even think the dude hit arbitration yet. And sure, you'd probably be paying him some big bucks in arbitration, but I'd much rather like go through that in a sense than rather risking 13 years and say he tears his ACL next year and he's never the same. That's why I think extending players is so stupid because most of the time, let's be honest, can you name the last time an extension really worked out?
Oh, I mean, well, what you mean, like extension or long-term deal? Because I can't think.
No, I mean like a long-term extension.
Well, I mean, what were extensions?
Because I mean, when you say an extension, like, that can be like 2 years.
Trouts was an extension. Trouts was an extension.
Yeah, but Trout's like an oddity, bro.
I mean, you could say the same about Tatis. And let me just clarify, because I think in the chat, some people think I was saying to give Judge $300 million. I wasn't saying that at all. But let me say, like the 10-year deals that work out, right? It was like the first A-Rod deal, right, where he's 26.
Yeah.
Like getting Harper at 26, like those work out just the same, right? Or you think it's going to work out with Harper and like say Machado, right? And you bring up the whole Fernando Tatis thing, how he could tear his ACL tomorrow and be a totally different player. Same thing could happen if you sign him as a free agent at age 26. He could tear his ACL at age 27 and be screwed.
But why risk that now?
No, that's fair. But like you also, if it's a gamble regardless, and that's any long-term deal. But if you have a chance to lock up a player that you think you really do want to have long-term, it's best to do it then. Be sure you're going to have him, then potentially risk losing him in free agency when other teams can compete for him, you know?
Sure. And I want to bring up one thing here because we're kind of like on the topic of Yankees acquisitions and whatever. I know we talked about this last time, but I just kind of want to hit the refresh button on it since Dom Smith did come to Yankee Stadium. He raked a little bit.
Love Dom Smith.
The Yankees. Oh, do you actually?
Oh, big fan of Dom Smith. I
Love
wish
it.
he was a Yankee.
Bro, but that's what I'm saying. It's another left-handed hitter who comes into Yankee Stadium and almost makes it seem like Yankee Stadium is built for left-handed hitters. Like the Yankees are never gonna realize this, are they?
Yeah, I know. It's very
It's
disappointing,
bro.
and that's what
I
I
can
mean,
I can
bro.
name
About like,
10 guys that are left-handed hitters that walk into Yankee Stadium and slug. And meanwhile, we still have Gleyber Torres with a combined 6 home runs over the last 2 seasons.
and did you see the report? I forget who put it out. That Brantley's camp like went to the Yankees like and was like trying to get like
Apparently
something. I
Schwarber
don't.
too.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the Yankees just weren't about it because they couldn't make it work financially.
Doesn't
So
that make you sick?
it's unfortunate, but hey, listen, if
And
there's
we,
what.
bro, me and you both heavy on the Brantley
Oh
train.
yeah, yeah,
He's
and it's hard to
exactly what the Yankees
find
needed.
somebody who wasn't, bro. I would be so happy if we had Brantley. But listen, that's the one thing that's hopefully going to come out of this year, right? If things don't ultimately go our way and we miss the playoffs, there has to be a philosophy change, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think if let's just say Voit gets traded and we get one of the shortstops next year. A lot of people I feel like think it's going to be Corey Seager, left-handed bat, his swing perfect for Yankee Stadium. In the outfield, we'll probably get an outfielder. I'm not sure what the free agent outfielders are, but I'd almost guarantee if we were to get a free agent outfielder, he'd probably be left-handed. So I figure that there will be a philosophy change that comes with this because just like, and I didn't even fully realize, like I always wanted to have a balanced lineup, right? But honestly, like it didn't even process to me like one of the advantages of that being the short porch. Like I don't know why it didn't process to me that way. I was mostly just thinking like that way it's not as easy of a lane for the manager to bring in like a right-handed reliever, right?
Oh yeah.
So stuff like that. But like, dude, it's such a good point that like how the hell can you construct a team when you literally designed your stadium to you constructed a team to plays in a stadium that you designed the complete opposite way of the team you constructed. Does that make sense?
Bro, no, and it makes complete sense. And I think that just kind of goes to show the poor roster construction of the Yankees over the past 10 years or so. I mean, you even look back at like the 2015 team. Bro, that team was so left-handed heavy that when they faced a left-hander, they had to put Chris Young batting third just because that they were that kind of unfocused from the right-handed side of the plate. So it's like the Yankees can never seem to get the best of both worlds. I think the last time we had that was probably like 2017 when the Yankees kind of had a nice combo of Didi in the lineup, and then they had Greg Bird in the lineup as well, and Gardner was in there, and they had like a nice little combo of left and right in 2017, even 2018
and
a little bit.
Part of it is
and Hicks
being gone. I mean, like, and I've gone on record saying this quite a lot actually. Like, people don't realize how much of a loss Aaron Hicks was to this team because at some point he was going to figure it out. And I think the last couple of weeks before he got hurt, he was kind of getting there. But just from a getting on base standpoint, and Hicks, even though he's a lot better from the right side, like he can rope that homer from the left side down like the right field line. You know,
that's
so I mean,
linear.
like, and that's exactly literally. So I mean, I think next year, and this is what I'm starting to get excited about. Like when you open the show by saying like there's things to be positive about, right? And that's one of those things. Like I think like we are headed towards a philosophy change, right? It might be minor by just getting a couple left-handed bats, or it might be major with that plus new GM, new manager. Who knows? Like there's so many different possibilities going forward that it actually is exciting to see like what's going.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, listen, if we're talking about the Yankees playoff odds right now, because here we are talking like, so we're almost talking like the season's over for the Yankees. And personally, I think we're kind of just heavily trending towards that direction.
We're going to let them surprise us, not disappoint us.
Yes, exactly. Like right now, I'm setting my standards all the way down here because it's kind of like life, bro. You set your expectations too high, you're always going to get disappointed. I can't get disappointed because I'm already having the season over in my head. But I'm kind of looking at the Yankees right now, and you look at the mathematical numbers as far as like their playoff odds. I believe Fangraphs has them at 38% chance of making the playoffs. I think that's a little bit on the high side. If I'm looking at the standings correctly, it looks like the Yankees are what? They're 10 games. Yeah, 10 games out of first place in the division. And then in a wild card spot. Dan, this is actually what blows my mind the most. They're 5.5 out of a wild card spot, tied with the Angels. Okay. And do you know the teams that are ahead of them? Because it's kind of sick. I'm looking at
Mariners,
Indians.
Right. Oh, bro, yeah. It's like the Indians, and then the second wild card's what? The Rays or
Oakland?
A's?
So it's Tampa, Oakland, Seattle, Toronto, Cleveland. Who would have thought that this series in the first week of July, we'd be going to Seattle to face a Mariners team that we're trying to catch in the wild card hunt?
I know, dude. It's nuts. It really is.
So, I mean, with that being said, like, we could play like a little over-under game here. Fangraphs has the Yankees at 38% chance of making the playoffs this year. In reality, like mathematics aside, in your head, do you have that number higher or lower?
I mean, I think it's like fine. Because I mean, keep in mind,
You
like
think it, like,
38% is still pretty damn low. Like that's expecting them to miss the playoffs, right?
but in
And
my head, it's
I
lower.
think no, I understand, but also one, like it's automatically going to be lower when you're 3-7 in your last 10, right? Like if all of a sudden we go out and sweep Seattle, we'll be feeling a lot better, just especially because they're right ahead of us.
I
So
don't
that would
think
be
I
huge.
would.
I would, but I
Mentally, I
mean,
wouldn't.
listen, it's then I would be with you about that they should be lower if I didn't do that math before about how if we can get to 89 wins, the way we do that is 37 and 20, or what was it, 47 and
But we
32.
talked about that. You really think that the second wildcard team's only gonna have 89 wins?
That's what they're projected to have now. I mean, like, I know that's just projections, right? But
Yeah.
like, still, like, let's just say I don't know if even if it's like let's just go 90, easy math. Then it's what 48, and that we have to go what 17 games over 500.
How are we
So I mean,
doing
like,
that, bro?
I don't know. But listen, I just looked up what the free agent outfielders were next year. So this is kind of a side note. How about this? He's struggling this year, but Michael Conforto.
No, wait, he's a free agent?
He is. Isn't he a lefty? Or if he's not, I don't
Yeah,
care.
no,
Then
he's a lefty.
he's lefty. I want Michael Conforto. He's struggling, bro. Oh my god, give him a 1-year deal, like a
Where are you playing in
prove it
left
type
field?
deal. I don't give a shit. Yeah.
I like that. I really like him for
I
it.
would do.
But bro, that's
I
so
would
sad
love
we're looking
Conforto.
at free agent outfielders, bro.
Hey,
Come on, dude.
it's justified though, bro. It's justified.
Listen, shout out to Andrew Allen, $2 dono. Appreciate you,
Andrew.
Andrew. Andrew's the man. He says, "Sup, boys? Loizaga should have been an all-star." And I think, Dan, when we were talking about the Yankees who are named all-stars, this is why it pissed me off that like Chapman was named an all-star. Because if you look at the cumulative season, I think Loizaga, even like a Nestor Cortez, bro, more deserving than Aroldis Chapman. And obviously, Cortez is a little bit of a joke. But,
I
like,
just
you know
hope
what I
some
mean?
catcher gets injured in the next week or so because Gary needs to be on there.
Well, did they name the position player
They
reserve?
did. They need like the whole roster.
That's the
Should
fact
we
that.
mention how about speaking of the All-Star stuff next week?
Oh yeah. Let's mention that. So you could mention it, Dan.
Oh well, I'm gonna be at the All-Star game next week, so I'll be gone like the entirety of next week, basically. So I won't be around for next week's shows. So I believe Pat, you're just doing like standard, like regular shows. Right? I'm not sure what you're doing, but there won't be a Pat and Dan show.
Yeah, no. So next Monday and next Thursday, we're just gonna have like the typical off day streams. The Pat and Dan show is gonna take a little week hiatus. We'll be back the following week. Jesus says you skipped my dono, Pat. What's going on? I didn't skip your dono, Jesus. It was the trade Judge Frazier. I literally brought it up, and Dan
Pat doesn't like bro when people threaten him with
no,
they miss donos.
no, bro, because I'm making a point to try to bring up every single dono.
You do,
bro. I try my best.
Let me just talk about Conforto real quick. Do you mind? So last year he had a really good year. Last year he played 54 games at 322, 9 homers, 157 weighted runs created plus. This year struggling big time. Now he was injured, I'm pretty sure, for a little while. He's played 46 games. He's hitting only 204, 2 homers, 15 RBIs, 91 weighted runs created plus. So I mean, like, he's not doing well this year, but like Michael Conforto, I mean, he's good. He's had some really good seasons in the big league. So I mean, like, I think it wouldn't be a bad idea at all, especially if you can get him on a 1-year deal, bro. And
you probably could.
I don't know if the Mets would offer him a qualifying offer. I guess maybe with Cohen in office they probably would. But still, what do you lose nowadays? What do you lose with a qualifying offer nowadays? Like a second round pick or something, right?
Yeah.
Which,
I think something.
I guess that's still valuable, but still, I hope the Yankees will, and I think they will. I think they'll take a look at Michael Conforto.
Well, no, I don't think you lose anything. I think
you get to give it up to don't we give it to the Mets? Like, if we were to sign Conforto and they offered him a qualifying offer, I think they get like a second round.
They get a pick, but the Mets don't lose anything.
I'm glad they got rid of they changed it so it's not the first round pick anymore, which is clutch.
Bro,
Andrew, I am.
Bro, I'm so pissed off at this point that like I don't like, bro, the structure of everything just feels weird at this point. Like, I'm sorry, but like the fact that the Red Sox kind of like, bro, we kind of know that they tanked last year. I think they have like the 4th overall pick this year, and they're in first place.
Dude,
it bothers me that like their organization is so well structured in that sense, and the Yankees are just doofuses.
Bro, they're literally about to have on the same day have the best record, at least in the American League, maybe all of baseball, while possibly about to be getting Jack Leiter. So congratulations, Red Sox. You did it.
It's so stupid. But listen, Jesus says I had 2 donos. Pat, check it out. Listen, Jesus, I'm sorry. I can't go all the way back. But if you had another dono, I appreciate it.
He's getting extra shout-outs now, even if he didn't have an extra dono. So.
Shout out Jesus. But bro, what
hey, Conforto, I'm sorry to bring up Conforto one last time, but he's hitting 204. He has a 341 on base. That is impressive.
That's actually
I won't mention Conforto again, but
one thing I do want to bring up that I don't think we touched on because it happened after Thursday. Did you see Derek Dietrich opted out of his contract?
Yep.
I give Chirinos did as well. I think one other guy did as well too. But listen, shout out to them. I don't know if you've kind of checked out Derek Dietrich's numbers. I was heavily on the Derek Dietrich train kind of earlier on in the season before they traded for Rougned Odor because I thought that he would have been like that perfect Rougned Odor guy. But clearly the Yankees didn't like him. And I think shout out to him for kind of just realizing that he had no place in this organization. The Yankees were never going to call him up. He was never going to get an opportunity. So I give him credit for just walking away.
I'm surprised he didn't walk away sooner. I mean, I'm not sure if was there maybe like was this just like the date that he could opt out at, or could he do it the whole season? Because if he could do it the whole season, I'm surprised he didn't do it sooner, right?
No, I think he could have.
I'm surprised he really did. Maybe just banking on that somebody would get hurt, which really honestly has been like the only thing that we've done well so far this year. Like we've kind of done all right with injuries, if you think about it. Like even Stanton, bro, like now like he had that one IL stint, but like hell, if he doesn't go in the IL again, knock on wood, like he's gonna finish the year with like 140 games, and he's having a good year.
Yeah. But isn't that the most confusing part? Like, bro, and like this might be a little bit of conspiracy theory, but I think the only reason the 2019 Yankees did so well is because they had so many injuries. But kind of what I'm talking about here is like, bro, the fact that the Yankees are so bad this year with the lack of injuries, that's the most mind-blowing thing here. Because usually, like, when the Yankees suck, 2020, when they sucked so bad, the kind of excuse that was made is this isn't, like, their fully healthy squad that they're running out there. But now there's no excuses at all.
No, there isn't. I mean, honestly,
it's just lack of production.
I'll tell you flat out, like, I'm fully to the point where I'm blaming this season, at least the way it's been lately, on the pitching. I really am. Like, I swear, if we were to, like, if we felt we can compete this year, I would put it all towards pitching, honestly. Because this offense, I actually am starting to trust. Like, I think we'll be able to score enough runs to where if we had one more solid starting pitcher and a competent closer, like we'd be, I think, 4 or 5 games over 500. Which what are we now? 1?
Yeah, I mean, but who else could you blame that on? Like besides the Yankees?
Oh no, 100. You're absolutely right. No,
like the organization itself, like the fact that they didn't go out and get the necessary pick, bro.
No, I
wanted Taijuan Walker so bad.
It's probably the most embarrassing you did. It's probably the most embarrassing thing of it all, bro. The starting rotation, right? Like if this rotation this year worked out, that would have been like we would have probably had to have made like Cash God shirts, right? Because it would have been badass on Cashman's resume, right? That he went out and got Kluber, it worked out. Went out and got Taillon, it worked out. Banked on Herman coming back, and it worked out. Well, hardly any of it did. Herman's been okay, but besides that, Taillon's been bad. Kluber's he may have been pitched this year, or he's coming back in September. Like if we had the 2019 rotation with plus Gerrit Cole, like this team, I swear to God, I really do think it would be like 5 or 6 games at least over 500.
No.
And with 2019 Chapman, like I'm saying, like bullpen and everything, which that's a big if, of course, because the bullpen in 19 was amazing. But still,
no, it's
like the pitching, I swear, is the reason to blame for most of the failures this season.
I get it, but also at the same time, like you can't kind of discredit the fact that the offense has been so bad.
No, 100%. But listen,
like, bro, one of the worst in the league. Like for a list of guys who are so talented, you kind of expected the Yankees to have one of the top tier offenses in the league, and now here they are at the bottom half.
Oh, they've been disappointing regardless. And let me give credit where it's due. The pitching, like if it weren't for them picking up the offense again during that great May stretch, we'd probably be 5-10 games under right now, right? Like we were hardly scoring at that point. But as of late, and I'm not sure if it's because the pitching burnt out or to go along with Boone's terrible management of the bullpen. If it weren't for all that, we'd be in a much better spot, or at least a spot where we wouldn't be giving up in the playoffs just yet.
Yeah, fair. Listen, shout out to Larry with the $2 donut. Appreciate you, Larry. I says trade Voit. Try to sign Rizzo or Freeman.
It's Rizzo.
Freddie Freeman's a free agent next year.
No, he's not.
Dan, get on that.
He's on a long-term extension. I thought, but let me see.
Yeah, I thought he did, right?
Okay, free agent first baseman. Oh my God,
he's a free agent. Don't say that.
I swear to God, I have it right here. Yep. Are you kidding?
Chat, I'd like to make this announcement. It is July 5th at 9:46 p.m. I want Freddie Freeman as a New York Yankee. I would chop off my pinky for that.
Dude, he's Yankee material, big time. Rizzo is too. See, I was when I was studying, I didn't know Rizzo was a free agent. Absolutely not. He looked good without the beard anyways. Listen, that's not a bad thought. It really isn't. I mean, it's going to come down to dollars, of course, but like, hell, if we can get him on a 5-year deal, bro, left-handed Freddie Freeman in Yankee Stadium, bro, we're talking like, I'm not sure what his career high in home runs, but I'm almost confident he would smash that. What is he like? I think he has like 30. Yeah, I think he'd be over 40. His career high, I think, is like upper 30s, maybe like 38 or something.
Bro, that would be sick.
He won MVP last year, right? In the 60 games?
Yeah.
Okay, so Freeman's career high is 38 in 2019. Bro, he would cross 40 in Yankee Stadium. I mean, bro, his numbers are insane. Like even this year, which you could call it down near, he's hitting 268 with a 377 on base, slugging 471. Way to run straight a plus of 128, has 17 homers. Oh my God, that would be clutch.
He's unhinged.
So he's finishing up an extension right now. Because bro, it's crazy how long he's been in the league. So
how old is he?
He's 32. So that's why I was looking at like a 5-year deal, right? And I don't really get too nervous about giving first basemen like a deal through the 37, right?
Too bad he
And
can't DH though.
Freeman has shown that he can stay healthy. He's played basically every game except 2 years in 10 total seasons. But I think he signed a 6-year deal with Atlanta like as an extension. He debuted in 2010, bro, and after 2021 he's going to be a free agent. Like that's all of a sudden, bro. I'm making my offseason plans. Give me Freddie Freeman, bro. Trade Luke Voit. Dude, how about this?
This season's still going on, though, Dan.
Let's hope that we actually have a season next year because it's very possible there could be a strike, right?
Oh, let's not start talking about that now.
I know. This new CBA, which if there's going to be baseball next year, there will. If there's going to be baseball next year, there's a new CBA. A lot of people think that the luxury tax could get affected by that because the players want to have owners be able to spend more money. So they, one, may just do away with it, or two, raise it up a bunch. If they do raise it up a bunch, maybe Steinbrenner just goes all out, gets Freeman, gets Seager.
I'm gonna listen.
Can I give you a would you rather?
Yeah.
Would you rather for next year?
I like this game.
Have an off season where we trade Voit, get Freeman, keep Glaber at short, or keep Voit, trade Glaber, get
first one easy.
Get Seager.
First one easy.
So
simply because
you'd want to keep Glaber and get Freeman.
Yeah. Simply because I think Freeman is kind of like a more surefire option. I don't know about you. I don't know if you've kind of looked at Seager's career stats, but he's a little bit injury prone. And I think that's something like the Yankees would kind of love.
The actual like
I think injuries? So. No, I think that I know I'm not too sure of the injuries, but I can't remember last time that he played a full season.
I guess he got hurt this year too because he only played 30.
Well, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, you're right. Kind of. He's kind of.
So he would probably fit right in with the Yankees.
Yeah.
So
I think I'm with you. I mean, because I don't know though. Because I mean, maybe if that were the case, then I'll guess I'll give if we sign Freeman, give Glaber another year or so of maybe bouncing back offensively. Because I'll tell you what, bro, I actually am pretty confident that MLB's going to bring back the juice balls next year. And if they do,
I hope.
I think they do. I think they'd be foolish.
Bro, Brett Gardner's going to come back for another 40 home run season.
Oh my God, this is totally on topic. Can I tell you this? You may have saw my tweet, but
yeah, go for it.
Hot take: All-Star jerseys kind of growing on me. I swear to God.
You're sick.
You're
a sheep.
I'm not in love with them.
No, you're.
But like, I'm comfortable buying one now.
Oh no, you're sick.
But dude, I hate.
If you wear that on here, I'm literally like blocking your.
There's a good chance not next episode, but the one I come back from, I might be wearing it. Listen, I hate Fanatics, bro. I cannot stand them. You want to know why? And they may have complained to you about this before.
You might,
dude.
Yeah.
They're shipping like the date stuff leaves the warehouse. It's so absurd. Like I have this problem every single year with the postseason, right?
Oh, I remember. Yeah,
Yankees make the playoffs. Okay, one of my favorite things to do, a tradition of mine for years. I buy the hoodie. I buy the postseason hoodie, right, bro? By the time they get there to my house, the Yankees are already eliminated. So I was gonna buy the Judge All-Star jersey today, right? Shit would ship on the 16th.
That's
after the game's already over, and then it gets to my house. What, like the 18th? Like who even cares what the All-Star game at that point? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna buy. I'm just gonna buy. You figure they would have the Judge jersey at the stadium?
Oh, for sure,
right? 1,000%. Yeah, so I'll do that.
But bro, I'm gonna be honest. Speaking of like really trash shipping times, unhingedclothing.shop has great shipping, bro. We literally get it out within a week. I guarantee you, if anybody ordered something today, you'll get it by next Monday. 100% guaranteed, or your money back, bro. That's all. We're no fanatics up here. I do want to bring up this comment right here. Where was it? It was right here. USA says if we had a next man up season, we'd be willing to put Trey Amberke, Gittins, and Parkin more. Instead, we use Gardner and Frazier all the time. I hate to kind of like say that he's right, but he's kind of right, bro. And that's why when I bring up like the whole 2019 like next man up mentality was maybe good for the Yankees because they injected some new diversified life into that lineup. That's why I kind of make the suggestion of the Yankees need something like that now, in the sense of like, imagine like you're able to just put Gittins, Park, and Amberke all in this lineup and just see what they could do. I think that the Yankees would be a much better team in that sense.
I don't.
Okay. We agree. I
disagree. I don't like the offense isn't what freaks me out. I'd be all for getting Amberke every day at bats at the big league level, but like I don't think I think the Yankees are. I know this isn't what you're saying, but like they're much better off with the current offense with Luke Voit at first base, and it's really just like one more outfield bat would be what would improve this team. But I mean, besides that, like I think it's just the pitching. Like dude, if you look at our starting rotation, like it's embarrassing. It's annoying because like in the beginning of the season, like I was like pretty excited about the way the pitching was going, obviously with like the results, but like I liked how like it was so just like stable and set the first month. Like it was just like Cole, then it would be Kluber who was pitching well, and then it would be whoever, I don't know, did they go with Herman? But whatever, like or Monty, like it, like we only have like it's just like Cole and Monty in a way, and like Herman sometimes, but not as of late. Like it's really just Cole and Monty to where like you feel like you have a chance to win that day.
Yeah.
And that's what the problem is. So I mean, like, if the Yankees were able to just get like one starter, which may not even be a bad idea. I mean, hey, I know I brought this up last time and we found
who's out there?
But I was gonna say, like, if you can get a guy, not Kyle Hendricks, because I know the Cubs I think are doing well, right? Are they even doing well? Because the Brewers have been on
I think they're doing
fire.
solid.
Are they still doing well? But like, let's just say they weren't.
name.
Just for an example, Kyle Hendricks, like, you go out and get Kyle Hendricks, who has I think 3 more years of control. After
Wait, the Cubs are at 500.
There you go. See, I mean, that makes sense. I knew they're gonna. That's a good market correction. They were gonna come back down to earth, and also the Brewers have been insane.
Oh, they just lost 9 straight. There you go.
And the Brewers, I think, had just won almost like 10 straight or something. So I mean, like, and that's just an example. Go out and get Kyle Hendricks, who has 3 more years of control, which one stabilizes your rotation this year. So just in case you make a run, you have an arm, right? And then going into next year, he can be your second or your third starter. So I mean, like, I think a move like that wouldn't be a bad idea. And it's kind of similar, like when the Mets when they got Stroman, like. When they got Stroman, it wasn't just for that year. It wasn't just for 2019. Like, they got it for 2020 as well, which he didn't end up pitching. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
no, yeah, like, 1,000%.
You can like make a move that is like technically buying at the deadline this year, but you're not buying for this year. You're buying for years to come because the Yankees aren't going to sell. They're not.
But the Yankees don't do that, bro. They don't do that. When was the last time the Yankees went out? I mean, last time the Yankees went out at the deadline.
Oh,
2016, and they sold off.
I thought you were going to say when was the last time the Yankees were like in this position, but
No, yeah. Well, the last time they were in position was 2016, and then they sold off.
Yes, but I think I mean sell in a different way. Like, I literally mean retool, and that's what I think you mean. Like, when I think
sell, that's what they did in
like,
2016.
When I think of sell, I think like we're giving up on next year. Like, we're gonna like tank type deal. Like, that's not what's gonna happen. Like, one, that's not what should happen. 2, that's not what's gonna happen. You know what I want to do? I want to get rid of Britton. I want to get rid of Chapman, and maybe Luke Voigt as well. I want to get rid of everything that you think you're gonna try to get rid of.
I think you can, bro.
What else
I think you could find a way to trade. No, listen. If we're talking about retooling the 2021 Yankees,
I'm listening.
It's not even just trading. Here we go. Ready? You DFA Rougned Odor. I don't care what kind of money that you have to pay this dude. It was stupid acquiring him in the first place. He's just sitting on the bench rotting at this point. It's stupid. I understand he's like a cool presence in that clubhouse. Whatever. You're DFA'd. Brett Gardner, you're DFA'd. Bye. Take your little shopping bags. Get out of here. Clint Frazier traded. Don't care what you get for him. Get a bag of chips. He's gone. Miguel Andujar. If you could trade him, trade him. He has no place on this team. I understand his bat's nice, but he's not your left fielder of the future. Let him go. Maybe probably to a team who could use him as a DH as well, especially if the National League might have it next year. Maybe you wait until then. I don't know.
Andujar, somebody would want to do.
He could have some value for sure. Luke Voigt on the trade block for sure. DJ LeMahieu, you're probably not trading him. Honestly, I don't think any team's going to take on his contract. The Yankees still like him. I'm fine with that. Gleyber Torres. I don't know if right now's the time to trade him, but if you get a decent package in return, I'm trading him. Gio, going nowhere. Gary, going nowhere. Judge, going nowhere.
So we're basically on the same board. I mean, like, I agree. I mean, Gardner's not going to get DF. I'm not even talking about that because I mean, like, guys that are like Gardner's not going to be on the team next year. I don't think. Odor, unless there's some another weird clause in his contract, I don't think he'll be on the team next year.
Yeah, I really think it's a contract for next year though.
But I don't know. Does that DFA rule apply? Where like if we get rid of him, we have to pay his whole salary next year. I can't.
That's what I heard.
I feel bad in a way because I keep bringing that up. Like in theory, if that's actually true, I'll the next time we come on here, I'll do my research. Yeah. I really got to find out on that. But yeah, and listen, if you can't trade Chapman at the deadline and Britton, and maybe that's not such a bad thing, by the way, because if they're crap in the bed, like you don't want to have to like I don't want to like have to take on half or like keep half of Chapman and Britton's salary. Like maybe you do hold on to him the rest of the year. Having them figure things out, Britton get healthy, Chapman figure things out, and then trade them in the offseason. Like all I really want to do is I want to create salary relief while also maybe getting a prospect or two back for these guys, right? And then put ourselves in a position to where we can make the proper moves to contend in 2022. And like I cannot be more firm on that. That is very possible that we could we could be the favorites to come out of the American League next year. And that's not just me being freaking Yankee boy. That's like
because that's what we were supposed to be this year, and clearly just everything went. And also, I think you need a whole new coaching staff if you want to do that.
Which will come. We could be like
Aaron Boone's gone for sure,
dude. We could going into like say it's like spring 2022. We could be like in one of the more exciting places we've been as Yankees fans since probably like going into 2018.
All right. I have one more topic I want to touch on today, but I want to do like a little over under game here, right?
Okay.
I'm gonna name 5 guys. You're gonna give me over under 2.5. Are they still going to be in the dugout next season? Okay,
like 2.5 out of 10.
No, 2.5 out of 5.
Oh, okay.
So like over, which would be 3, under would be 2. Math. So 1, you got Aaron Boone. 2,
under
Marcus Timms.
I thought you were going 1 by 1.
No, I'm naming 5. Aaron Boone, Marcus Thames, Rougned Odor, Brett Gardner, Clint Frazier are over under two
Oh,
and a
I
half
see
of
what you're
those guys
doing.
going to be on. Yeah.
One more time. What was it?
Aaron Boone, Marcus Thames, Brett Gardner, Rougned Odor, Clint Frazier.
Under 100%. I think
Under?
maybe one of those. I mean, because one, Boone and Tim's will definitely be gone. And
If it's
Odor,
not
I
under,
think
we have a serious
if there was
problem.
one guy that might still be here, or if there was two guys, I think it might be Gardy and Odor. But I think there's definitely three of them will be gone. Definitely the coaches, and then I think one of the three players. So yeah,
I guess that's fair. I mean, if it's not, if that answer is not under going into next season, the Yankees messed
is
up
that what you have?
big time.
Do you think under? Not what you want, but what you think. Do you have it under?
No,
I think Boone's gone. So I mean, like
I
that's
don't.
too. That's
I know that Boone needs to be gone, but I think the organization just really likes him too much. I don't know.
I mean, I can't blame you for feeling that way.
Even if they miss the postseason, I just don't see it. I
Yeah,
don't know. Maybe that's just me being delusional here.
I couldn't see that, but I don't blame you for feeling that way.
Listen, shout out to Steven Gutierrez with the $5 dono. Appreciate you, Steven. He says, my trade before Chapman became ass was Chapman to Padres. Yankees get CJ Abrams, Mackenzie Gore, and Trent Grisham. We need to reload on young assets. Now, I would make that trade 10 times out of 10.
Oh, I thought I was thinking McKenzie. I was thinking Tristan McKenzie.
Tristan, yeah.
Yeah, listen, if we can, all I really care about right now is salary relief when it comes to trading Chapman. Like, I'm not too big into like prospects. I know, Pat, you know more about prospects than I do, but if
I'm not even that.
You know more about him than I do. If San Diego is taking on Chapman's full salary, couldn't care less what we get back. Now, obviously, I want a nice return, I guess, as nice a return as we can get. But like, what I would really focus on is, and some people are already saying like, no shot we get that. I can't even comment on that. I don't know how good these guys are, but like, just get rid of that $18 million over the next 2 years, and I'm feeling good.
Bro, I'd trade anything for Chapman at this point, if I'm being honest with you.
And I don't want people to think that, like, I was saying this when Chapman, even before he started really crapping the bed. This really doesn't have anything to do with his performance, honestly.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure.
I do think Chapman's a good closer. I'm saying the same thing about Bryn, who's obviously really good. Like, it's
he needs to prove himself a little bit more.
I mean, just like the IL rust and stuff. But it's the paying $30 million to two relievers, which is just so ridiculous and what they got to fix.
Yeah. Listen, Dan, kind of the last thing that I do want to hit on tonight. The Yankees are kind of going into the series against Seattle Mariners. Like I mentioned, if I would have told you at the beginning of the year that this would have been a big series for the Yankees as far as like
it
wild
really is a
goes,
big series, which is
it's
crazy.
huge. But kind of like shifting away from the series itself, I believe we have two games that start at 10 o'clock. Are you a fan of the night games, like 10 o'clock start time? I'm a huge fan.
I'm a big fan. When I was younger, I was always a fan like before, and then like around like the fifth or so inning, I would honestly like usually fall asleep because I had like third grade the next day. But like at this point, bro, like, and that's the same for you. Like, we're freaking night owls, bro. Like, I'm gonna be up till 3 a.m. regardless, you know. So like, I love it. And also like, the only downside of it is that like my internal clock is confused when like 7 o'clock comes. It's like, I know there's a night game tonight, but okay, it's 7 o'clock. What do I do now? So like that throws me off a little bit. But like, I'm a big fan of the 10 o'clock games.
I'm a huge fan. And I'm so excited because like I do the daily pre-games, post-games. Bro, my pre-game is gonna be at the same time, like where I'm almost like getting ready for the post-game, bro. Because 9 p.m. pregame, and then, bro, postgame's going to be at, like, what, 1:32?
And if the game goes late, bro, you're talking, like, it could be almost, like, 3. Like,
Bro, give me extra innings.
I mean, do they have a dome in Seattle? Is it a dome? It is,
They do, yeah.
Okay, never mind. I would say there's, like, a rain delay. But if it, like, goes crazy extra innings, bro, like, yeah, you could literally be doing, like, a postgame, like, in the 3 o'clock hour.
I love it. I love the 10 o'clock start times.
It's just so if you're going to be up regardless, like, you might as well watch baseball, right? That's why I was at the time, happy about the Angels game and the rain delay and them keep playing.
No, yeah. Listen, before we do wrap things up today, we have 2 more donos hit on. Shout out to Julio with the $2 dono. Appreciate you, Julio. He says, sell the team. I'm a Yankee fan, but they suck.
As in sell off the players, or Steinbrenner should sell?
I think both at this point.
I don't think Steinbrenner will ever sell, but
he probably won't, but I would be happy if he did so. I'm just saying that.
I wouldn't mind. I'd want like a Steve Cohen type, but I mean, that's the thing. I think we'd be in pretty good hands if Steinbrenner did sell, because if Steinbrenner did sell, whoever's buying it definitely obviously has a load of cash, right? So I mean, it'd probably be like a Steve Cohen type deal. It'd be like a passion play. So I'm not even gonna ever get my hopes up about that until like we even hear the slightest rumor.
Fair. But listen, also shout out to Larry with the $5 dono. Appreciate you, Larry. He says, do you all think if the National League adds the DH, we could potentially have a chance of moving Stanton's contract?
Wouldn't hurt.
Honestly, no. Bro, he has a no trade clause. Why would he want to go?
And dude, honestly, like, I'm really getting sick of these no trade clauses, by the way.
I know.
And it's
not like we signed him to it, though.
Okay, well, we technically we
took it on, yeah.
We signed the contract to take him on, you know? So, like, yeah, I mean, it's possible. I mean, where else did he want to go? He was down to go to L.A.
L.A., St. Louis, and San Fran, I think.
No, he declined San Fran and St.
He
Louis.
declines, and that's right. That's right.
But
where was Where's he
It
going?
obviously doesn't hurt
Boston?
the
I don't
chances.
know.
I think it was no. He wanted to go to LA or New York because he's from LA, and obviously he wants to go to the Yankees. Listen, let me just say this about Stan. Ideally, we could move him, right? The money's a big problem. I got two things I'm going to say about this. Second thing, the Yankees should have never taken him on if they're going to let the Stan contract financially handicap them, right? So hopefully they're not going to do that going forward, and that's a big hope, obviously. Three,
Yeah.
Stan's having a nice year. He's having a good year, okay? So, I mean, like, if Stan, once again, a big if Stan can stay healthy, like, he is valuable. And if he's going to be playing left field, very valuable, right? Like, he's still a very good player. I'll be more so nervous about, like, the tail end of his – there's two things I'll be nervous about, the tail end of his contract and his ability to stay healthy. But if he's on the field, like, he's very good. He's having a very good season, like, very good. And listen, he's played 63 games this year. Judge has played 78. So, I mean, listen, if before the season started, would you have taken that? Obviously, 78 games from Judge, 63 from Stanton. That's a W.
Not if it meant we'd be 500 during July.
But that's I mean, if we didn't have that,
I know what you mean, but at the same time, it's like, what does it matter at this point, though?
We'd be 10 under. I know, but still, I mean, we got him regardless.
By the way, the teams were Dodgers, Yankees, Astros, Cubs. So
is that right?
But with that being said, that is going to wrap up episode 5 of the Pat and Dan Show. Appreciate you all for stopping by. Like I said, we're going live Monday and Thursdays, either at 9 p.m. on off days or directly after the Yankee games. But that means we'll see you guys Thursday. I will see you guys tomorrow for the pregame before the Mariners start of the Mariners series tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern time.
Don't forget, no Pat and Dan Show next week.
Next week.
But we'll be back on Thursday.
Still going to be back on Thursday. But with that being said, everyone be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications for more. Hit that first link in the description. Subscribe to the Pat and Dan Show channel. Dan produces a beautiful, beautiful version of the episode that goes up on there the following day. But with that being said, you guys know the deal. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe. Let's go Yankees. I'll see you guys tomorrow. See you Thursday for the Pat and Dan Show episode 6. Peace.